Let's go to Mike from Massachusetts. You're on the air.
Hey, David, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Long-time listener, first-time caller. Also, obviously, from my title from Massachusetts, happy to have someone from my home state doing what you do. Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
I guess my question is it's a couple years out before this is a real concern, but for the 2024 election, obviously a lot can happen between now and then. But as things stand right now, there is a real possibility that if Trump were to run, he could win.
Yes.
Correct?
Absolutely.
So I believe there's an argument to be made that Trump's attempt to overturn the election in 2020 really came down to a handful or maybe a half a dozen or so people that blocked him at key steps that would have given him huge opportunities to actually achieve what he was trying to do. Given like the increase of like self-described MAGA candidates that we've seen running for various state positions and and whatnot, and with Trump having the popularity that he has and most likely going to keep that popularity over the next 3 years or so, if Trump were to run and theoretically lose, do you see a possibility where he could actually pull off what he tried in 2020? Or theoretically, if he ran and won, could he then install enough people into key positions that he could actually completely change the system when even after he's gone, Republicans could run the show regardless of what the votes are?
The latter one seems far-fetched. I don't know that 80-plus-year-old Trump as president in an even more kind of dazed and confused state than he was in during his first 4 years is really going to do that. I think that that's kind of far-fetched. I think the first concern you mentioned is a more legitimate one, which is it's looking good for Republicans in the House in 2022 on redistricting alone, never mind actually flipping seats. It's looking okay for Republicans in either 22 or 24 taking control back of the Senate. I don't know that Biden gets reelected. I don't know that if he bails and Kamala's the nominee, that she wins. So by January of 2025, you could again have total Republican control of the White House, House, and Senate. And that's really, really scary. And even if they only have control of some of those, could they somehow use whatever resources they have to give a win to Trump, even if he didn't earn it in the way they fell short of in 2020? I don't want to be hyperbolic, but I also don't want to write it off. I think there are real concerns about if Trump loyalists control more governorships, the House and Senate in 24, and if Trump narrowly loses in 2024, that there is a lot that motivated Trumpist elected officials could try in order to put Trump in the White House, even though he didn't win. Do I think they would succeed? I still think they probably wouldn't, but the fact that we're even talking about it in these terms is very scary.
That's fair. To my latter point, I guess I'd ask, it's not so much to Trump's benefit, but if he were to win in 2024, and let's say, like you said, Republicans control the House, control the Senate, could they, now that they've seen how close they can get to actually overturning an election, could they spend that term, the 2024 to 2028, setting things up so they can essentially run the show going down the road, even when Trump goes away?
They could try. Yes, I think that's a much more plausible way, which is it's not about Trump per se. It's really about others laying further groundwork. And listen,
that was more of my question at
first. It's not even a conspiracy theory in the sense that they've been doing it with voter ID for 15 years. This is what they do. They do it with redistricting. So, of course, they would continue to try and find new ways.
Okay, that was more my question the first time around. I guess I didn't articulate that quite right, but
no problem.
I appreciate that.
My pleasure. I appreciate the call.
All right. Have a good one. I'm sure I'll be calling back again soon.
All right. There's Mike from Massachusetts. Let's go next to Jamie from Canada. Jamie from Canada, you're on the air.
Hey, David. How's it going?
It's going well. Thank you.
I was just wondering, how do you think that Biden's agenda is going? Because we've had basically the Endless Frontier Act, which passed the Senate, surprisingly hasn't passed the House yet. Then he has the American Rescue Plan, which he signed into law, and then he just signed the bipartisan infrastructure into law. So that's like he's hitting 3 so far. But technically, but he also has the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, and then the For the People Act, or the Right to Vote Act, or whatever they're calling it now. I was just wondering, so he has about maybe 6 or 7 pieces of legislation on his agenda. What realistically, what do you think we're going to see being passed?
Oh, this is such a tough question because candidates make way more promises than they can ever keep or make a reality. At the same time, you also had Biden dealing with COVID and the Delta wave, and I've expressed disappointment that more hadn't been done. My expectation is that maybe not by the end of this year, but by the end of the first quarter of next year, there will be some additional major accomplishment by Joe Biden. I don't know if it'll be the Build Back Better spending bill or if it will be something else, including items you mentioned. But I think that the way I would say it is Biden's doing okay on getting some things done, although it's starting to feel a little bit light. We had the COVID stimulus, vaccination rollout. Now we have a much smaller infrastructure bill than initially proposed signed. I think in order to get back to like a B, he needs one more big piece of legislation by the end of March of next year. That's kind of my mindset right now.
And he said, I think he said this, but he said, I'm going to use every trick in my book to try to get this voting rights passed. He said, I'm putting Kamala in charge. And I was just wondering what you thought of that.
Yeah, I am unsure as to whether the vice president can get it done. I mean, there's no way to sugarcoat it. I hope that she can. I'm unsure. And so far, she does not have major accomplishments under her belt. But that's, it's just, I'm not saying it as a criticism. It's just, she just doesn't right now. And she's not particularly popular right now. I hope that she can do it. I don't know if she can.
That's fine. One last thing before I go is that my realistic expectations, my overperforming hope expectations for the Senate in 2022 is 54, 56 Democrats, but I know realistically we might get only 52 or maybe just hold the 50.
Let's just hope Republicans don't take over. I'm setting my sights much lower than you.
Yeah. Because people are telling me you got to lower your expectations. You got to think it's just going to be 50 or 51 Dems.
I think cautious optimism is the way to go. I appreciate the call.
And yes, thank you. Hope you have a nice day. And Canada's really nice.
It's
a little bit chilly.
I love Canada. Nice. We love Canada here. Thank you, Jamie from Canada. Very much appreciate the call.